Alrighty. Well, hey everybody. Good afternoon. Welcome to the Monterey Bay Aquarium here live from the Sea Otter exhibit. And if you can hear me, let us know in the chat real quick. And I need to turn off the monitor for myself there because I was hearing myself 3 or 4 times. For those of you wondering, my name is Patrick. I work on the social media team here at the aquarium. Socially distanced over here, we've got Emily. Emily is going to be there on the camera. You may know us from the social media feeds here. And look, we're not in my living room right now. We're not in anyone's living room. We are here at the aquarium because we are getting ready to reopen to the public very, very soon. And we're so excited to see everybody. And to get us started, we want to ask everybody this question. Hey, remember this? We are live at the Sea Otter exhibit, and we're here with Jessica. Jessica, Sea Otter exhibit caretaker and Sea Otter Aquarium extraordinaire. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, what you're doing here at the aquarium.
Oh, hi guys. So I'm Jessica, and I'm one of the Sea Otter trainers, and I get the lovely job of taking care of these fuzzy little critters that are in the water behind me. We do a lot of training with the girls, so throughout the day, if you're checking out on the webcam, you might see some training sessions. A lot of enrichment. If you're looking at the camera right now, we got some enrichment on the deck. So it's our job to make sure we feed the girls as well as take care of cleaning. So usually early in the morning we might do some cleaning, whether we need to dive in the exhibit or just basic husbandry behind the scenes. So yeah, there's a lot of fun things that we do with the otters all throughout the day.
Awesome. Yeah. And, folks are saying that there's a little bit of an echo. Yeah, we're trying to figure out what's going on there with the echo. I might just turn off my microphone myself, or I'll try to talk much lower over here. But welcome everybody. Thank you so much for being here on the stream. Jessica, thanks for the quick intro. Can you tell us who are the otters there behind you real quick?
Yeah,
Some of the folks I'm sure watching the Sea Otter cam religiously during quarantine. Who are they seeing there behind you right now?
Behind me right now, so there are 4 otters on exhibit. You're going to notice 1 blonde and 3 brunettes. The blonde is Rosa. She's our oldest otter, and she's 21 years old. Again, 21, she's old. This is Rosa right here. Hi, Rose. On deck we have, I think that's Kit. Oh, Kit and Abby behind us. We got Kit on deck in the middle by the ice pile, and then Abby is tucked away behind the rock. I don't know if you can see her. Maybe if you're on the webcam, you might see a little brown blob behind the rockwork. And then Selka is our other brunette that's in the water right now. She's going to town on her coat, making sure she's nice and groomed.
That's utterly adorable. And I'm trying to figure out the echo for everybody.
They're hearing me multiple times. They're just getting a little bit of the voice of Cod, as they're saying on the side. But there's lots of folks here that are wondering what is going on there with the Sea Otters, with all of the activity that they normally get when there's visitors in the building. There hasn't been anybody here for quite some time. Looks like we've got a little bit of an earthquake going on as well.
Sorry, I was going to try and do some mobile work here. The camera's stuck on the tripod.
It's all good. You know, folks, you are just going to have to deal with all of us here trying to figure out what is going on with live streaming, because we have an aquarium to show you once again, and we got our systems nice and good when we're in our pajama pants back at the house. But being able to come back here to the aquarium, we're very, very excited to see everything in here in front of us one more time. I'm going to go back to non-earthquake over here. And Jessica, can you tell us a little bit about what it's been like for the otters there behind you? A lot of folks have been wondering what's going on with these animals without all of the visitors, without all of the extra enrichment that they get from seeing everybody, all the latest fashion trends with people as they come to the building. The otters have been without people besides yourself. What has it been like for the otters here in quarantine?
Not a whole lot's changed for them. Really, it's just, their everyday life is eat, sleep, groom, repeat. As you're seeing right now, it's the grooming and the sleeping part. They'll see people around the windows, but since we've been closed, since no one's been here, they really haven't seen anyone at the windows at all. So actually, when we would walk up for sessions, they would be super excited to see us. They would run, they're not running. Well, sometimes they would run, actually, if they're on deck. They're swimming, super excited. They'll chase us around the windows. They'll follow us around. So now that we're starting to see more people in the building, they're still starting to cue in on people following them around. And I think probably once more people start to show up, more people in the building, that might tone down. They don't want to keep running all day, every day when everyone's running around. So at least initially when there were fewer people, they're definitely following us around. But it was very fun to watch them swimming around in the windows with us. They're still doing it.
Amazing. Yeah, we've got a lot of folks here that are tuning in from so many different places all around the world there on Facebook, on Twitter, on Twitch and YouTube. So many folks are tuning in right now, and they are asking a few different questions. The main thing is how do they get a sea otter? And I think, we always get that question on the stream, Jessica. We always get that question about, well, can I take a sea otter home? They're so cute. They're so fluffy. Okay, I can see. Yes. So very vehemently against adopting a sea otter, and nobody would want one of these in their own home. Is that correct?
That is absolutely correct. For the sheer fact of otters need to eat up to 25% of their body weight every single day. So it's a lot of food. And you're thinking seafood. Seafood's expensive. We recently kind of did a price check on how much it costs to feed one of our sea otters every year, and it reaches around $20,000. $20,000 US dollars for those of us who are elsewhere. That's a lot of money for a single sea otter. So if you think about it, you might have a pool in your backyard, you might somehow have salt water in your backyard, but do you have $25,000 to feed them every year? Maybe not.
No, I think a few folks are seeing that that's a little bit outside of their current budget, but starting with similar letters in the exhibit right now, we have a bucket that people are currently raving about. Tell us a little bit more about the bucket.
That bucket, it's just a little thing that we can put enrichment in, whether the otters will get into them. You might have seen Selka maybe before we started the stream. Selka was sitting inside of it. She liked to sit inside with the ice in there. Little kitten right here who's sitting by the rock. She's the little culprit, I'm pretty sure, that dragged the bucket into the water. She loves everything to be in the water. And if you happen to be looking on the webcam, the Sea Otter webcam, you'll probably see that there's a white bucket in there. I already know what's in there. Kate likes to drag everything into the water, and then it likes to put everything into the spa. So you might see Kate looking into the spa. Selka was in there just a moment ago. They just love putting everything in the water. That's Kit's thing. She kind of likes to ruin the party. It might have ice in it on deck, and then Kit decides to relocate it into the water, which...
That's awesome. And there's a few folks here in the chat that are, pointing out that it was on their bucket list to have this particular bucket in the Sea Otter exhibit. So we're happy to provide that for everybody. And for those of you who are just tuning in, again, my name's Pat. I'm on the social media team here at the Aquarium. On the camera is Emily, socially distanced there in the background. There's Emily there. And we are live from the actual Monterey Bay Aquarium. Again, we are getting ready to reopen to all of you folks here coming up very soon. If you're a Monterey Bay Aquarium member, you will be able to join us starting May 1st through May 14th with exclusive member days. And those are going to be going on sale. Those reservations, all visits to the aquarium are online reservation required. You can get those reservations April 26th if you're a member. And then if you are a member of the general public, you are going to be able to start reserving your tickets on May 5th, and you'll be able to come in on May 15th. And so again, we're here at the aquarium right now at the Sea Otter exhibit, talking a little bit about some of the things that you might remember, like all of these cute fuzzies, the Otterly possum ladies that we have here at the aquarium. And we have been joined to do so, to talk about these animals, by Jessica, who is one of our Sea Otter aquarists here. And a question for the folks out there, Jessica. A lot of folks are always wanting to know, how do they get your job? Seems like a whole lot of fun to be able to hang out with these otters. It's a lot of work, though. You're already mentioning just how much it costs to feed these animals, but that cost, you buy the seafood and then someone's got to get it ready. So can you walk us through a little bit about the day in your life, and then how does somebody do what you end up doing?
Totally. Our most important job, obviously, taking care of the otters, is feeding them, but actually just keeping them clean is another part. Whether or not it's hosing off the deck. You see all the lovely fuzzy otters that are grooming on deck. They're gonna shed all that lovely fur onto the deck. And while they're taking a nap, they might also poop on the deck. So a lot of cleaning that you'll see just on the deck, but as well as in the water. We dive twice a week so that we can siphon any of that otter fur, otter poop, the algae that's in there. The fish that are in the exhibit also poop in here. So a lot of cleaning that happens. As well as anytime we're off behind the scenes, we'll have to take care of those holding tanks as well. So there's a lot of cleaning that usually happens before you guys come in, and as well as behind the scenes. So a lot of cleaning. That's basically most of my job, whether it's dishes, diving, hosing, keeping our facility clean, clean. Food prepping, usually the first thing that happens in the morning, getting the food ready for the rest of the day, and then sectioning out anytime we have sessions or enrichment. We kind of plan that throughout the day. And then, as you guys see throughout on the cameras, we have our timed feeding shows that, well, maybe not timed anymore, but we have our feeding shows where we will feed the otters, we'll do sessions, we might do enrichment, just kind of depending on staff. So a lot of busy work. It's fun, lovely being around the girls, but at the same time, it is a lot of dirty work. As for how to work with a sea otter, that's always a fun question that people love to ask. A lot of volunteering is what most people that work in animal care have to go through, is volunteering, whether you're working at a zoo or an aquarium. A great place to start for some people who might be younger are shelters. So whether you're taking care of cats and dogs, whether you can get into a zoo or an aquarium, just getting your hands dirty and getting them wet. That's a great place to get experience on just how to do what I explained, which is how to clean, how to do the basic care for animals, because for us it's really important, as we are an AZA facility. There's a lot of rules and a lot of regulations that we have to follow to be able to have these otters, period. So a lot of volunteering work that goes into taking care of otters, and you might eventually land yourself in a job.
That's right. And
Whoa, let me turn on my microphone. I was one of those Sea Otter volunteers. I actually started off at the aquarium volunteering with those rescued sea otters, and that was actually something that I'm seeing some of the folks here in the chat over on YouTube, on Twitch, lots of activity. I know over on Twitch there's a hype train going on, so choo all aboard the hype train, everybody there. But for those of you that are currently watching and wondering a little bit about those wild sea otters, that you might hear about those rescued sea otters that we put back out into the wild, one of the really amazing opportunities that we had during quarantine was being able to have some of those otters that are meant to be released back out into the wild that we don't usually get to see, usually behind the scenes on top of the kelp forest exhibit, just over that way there behind us. So Jessica, can you tell us a little bit about what it was like to have those otters that are going to be released back out to the wild? We have rescued females, can't go back out, but some of the folks watching the Sea Otter Cam may have seen something pretty special there during quarantine.
Absolutely. It was the perfect time to be able to have those wild sea otters that we really don't want any sort of human contact with. Anytime you release wild animals out in there, we want to make sure that they're not getting used to the idea of people, because we don't want them to associate people with food, because it could potentially be very dangerous to them, to the people themselves as well as the animals. You imagine a sea otter is going to be eating things like crabs, clams, hard-shelled mussels, food items that, if they're going to bite through something, they could potentially hurt somebody who might think, oh, a cute fuzzy otter is fun to hang out with. They might not think that. So having the girls on exhibit was the wild otters on exhibit was great, because we have a lot of windows where the public would get a lot of chance to see the otters, and the otters would see the public too. So because the otters were able to be on here with nobody, it was a really great time for them to learn, the wild otters, how to dive, how to really forage for their food. We have some feeder ports where we can actually shoot food out from the bottom of the exhibit, and those wild otters, when they're on exhibit, would be able to dive down and forage in our rock work to be able to get the food just like they would out in the wild. So it was really great for them to learn how to forage, learn how to dive, how to really maneuver into their large environment, and really get a chance to just hang out and learn how to be in a bigger space. So it was really great for them, really good opportunity.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Jessica. Jessica, by the way, is doing an amazing job, everybody. If we can get some W's, some thank yous in the chat, because on the tech side over here, I mean, we're just all over the place. I forgot to send the tweet. So if I said you're watching on Twitter, no, you're not. The only people that are watching is over there on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Twitch. And, I don't want to make you start over for the Twitter folks. We apologize. We'll make sure that it's out there for everybody on every platform possible. But if you are currently on Twitch, on YouTube, on Facebook, you're getting some exclusive content here with Jessica. And sorry, Twitter, I meant to send that tweet, then completely forgot. So Jessica, you're doing great over there. We've got a few folks that are in the chat that are saying you are doing absolutely incredible. And let me see. We've got some good questions here coming in. Oh yeah, everybody here on Twitch is just rocking with it. Can you tell us, Jessica, what is your favorite aspect of working with the otters? And of course, people want to know what's your favorite sea otter. We obviously cannot have preferences of sea otter with the otters there in the background. So whatever that's a secret. Hold on to that for yourself. But can you tell us a little bit of something that's just super neat about your job working with the otters?
Honestly, again, it's just working with the sea otters. People are very inclined to like them because they're cute and they're fuzzy, and it's really fun to really work with them and see their personalities and just how different each otter is individually. They're really cute, they're real cuddly, they're fuzzy, but they're kind of wolves in sheep's clothing, and by kind of I mean they're totally wolves in sheep's clothing. A lot of sharp, pointy bits under that fur. But that gives us a healthy relationship, a healthy respect that we have between the two. They are my coworkers too. So just like Pat and Emily are my coworkers, these fuzzy little guys behind me are also my coworkers that I learned to very, very much respect. It's really the best part, being able to train them, whether it's a new behavior, whether it's a super difficult behavior, or something really simple. It's always fun to just see the progress, the relationship that we might build with them. It's just really rewarding to be able to work on these things. And even things like, if there's a medical emergency that we might have, being able to work with them and they can work with us, just having that relationship with them is really a really great part of working with them.
That's excellent. We have a few fewer pointy bits, I would say, that are hiding out. Me and Emily. I just think a few fewer things that could destroy the windows or make your life a little bit harder there. But let's see. Let's go to the questions. I see that we've got a lot of folks here on Twitch in the chat. We've got so many thank yous to Jessica, so many GGs and dubs and good stuff there. That is a great question from Wilderness Gay over there on Twitch, is asking us to have Jessica tell all of you, where did our sea otters come from? I'm sure you get that question a lot. I believe we've got Rosa there, right behind you there along the window. How did these otters come to be here with us, Jessica?
So all of our girls came to us, unfortunately, by being stranded out in the ocean. They were all rescued as young pups, obviously at different points in time. Rosa is 21 years old. Selka is, I believe, 8 o'clock. Ooh, I don't know. English, it's weird. 8 years old. So they all came to us at different times, but they were all stranded as pups. And unfortunately, sea otters, young sea otter pups, they're really not able to survive on their own. They're little fluffy little floating corks. They can't dive. They really can't forage for their food. They really rely on their mom to take care of them. So when they were stranded, we were able to pair them with a surrogate, just like some of our girls do right now, and they were able to be raised as an otter and hopefully be released out in the wild. Some of our girls, Rosa and Selka, they were indeed released out into the wild. However, they proved to not be as successful out in the wild for certain circumstances. Selka, for instance, she was released successfully. However, she was found with a very large shark wound. So during her rehabilitation from that shark wound, was unable to be successfully re-released out into the wild. So for the most part, behaviorally, they just were not able to be successfully out in the wild. But they were able to come to our facility, and we were really able to take care of them. And they showed a great direction in being great surrogates. So those other wild pups that come in, they can actually be surrogates and raise those wild pups so that those pups can be released out into the wild.
Absolutely. You're seeing some working mothers here on the exhibit. And we've got a few questions, Jessica, following up on that. We've got, again, Rosa's just doing her little nap, just hanging out, using her tail there, hanging out there. There you go. Emily's zooming in there on Rosa there in the corner. We have a question here. How long do sea otters live typically? And that number is different between the exhibit and in the wild. In particular, you folks out there may know that Rosa has been around for a sea otter minute here in the exhibit. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
In the wild, most sea otters, males will typically live from 10 to 15 years old, and females will live from 15 to 20 years old. So just that number, Rosa, again, 21 years old. She's much older than your typical life expectancy for a wild sea otter. But however, we're able to work with her, be able to train her certain behaviors that allow us to provide her really great medical care so that we can help her out anytime she might have some ailment. In the past, we actually noticed that she had a cracked tooth. And so because she had a cracked tooth, we needed to have a dentist come in and remove that tooth. And some of the behaviors that we trained her, we were able to provide with her giving her pain meds. So she would voluntarily take her pain meds. She also would voluntarily open her mouth so we can monitor that open wound to make sure that that tooth or that open hole where the tooth was healing properly. So these behaviors that we can train them really help take better care for them. For example, again, Rosa, she's our old lady, so we kind of run into a lot of problems, just, whether you need health care in some fashion. She is requiring to have eye drops twice a day. So you'll see us do a lot of training sessions where we're doing eye drops. So these are things that she allows us and she works with us to be able to provide really great medical care so that we can provide her a really long, healthy life for her.
So, that you were mentioning there, Jessica, the whole, access to food. We started off with talking about how much food the otters get. That's thanks to all of you folks out there supporting the aquarium, being able to pay for all the Sea Otter bills. We also have Dr. Mike, the amazing veterinary team there that's taking care of these otters there. They do live longer with us. A little bit shorter there in the wild, but for those of you wondering, how do we keep track of the otters that we're releasing? How do we follow that along? We have that incredible Sea Otter program you folks may have heard about, where we are tracking these otters with radio transmitters, flipper tags, and other ways of tracking these animals from planes and other things. There's a lot of research that goes into taking care of the otters that we release back out to the wild. And you may know that over in Elkhorn Slough, there's been a lot of really amazing change over there from the otters that we've released out there into the wild. They have helped to basically replenish the eelgrass over there and help restore a wetland here locally. And so that's something that the aquarium has been working on for over 30 years. And that's thanks to Jessica, the Sea Otter aquarist here, making sure that the girls are in tip-top condition to go to work for Sea Otter 101 boot camp that we have to run those baby otters that strand through to be released back out into the wild. And now with aspirations of hopefully releasing otters out to their historic range. They used to go from the south of Baja all the way to Japan along that entire rim, and they were hunted in the 1800s for their fur. And so now that they're recovering in our area, the aquarium is working with lots of different orgs to release them back out to the wild. So that was a lot of me screen time all at once there, just to answer some of those questions that are going there along on the side. And just as a reminder to everybody, the reason that we're doing this live stream is because we're almost open. For those of you that are asking when we're reopening, we're here right now with Jessica at the Sea Otter exhibit talking about, hey, remember this? Because we're almost ready for you to replenish those memory banks there with the aquarium. Again, if you're a member of the aquarium, you can start purchasing your tickets for your member days, May 1 through 14, and all the way through June 30th for the rest of the regular days. For you members, that starts April 26th. And then for everybody else who's not a member, May 5th, you can start reserving your tickets for our May 15th grand public reopening. So it's coming up very soon here, and that's why we're here with you, Jessica. So let me go back to Jessica real quick and just see, Emily, what's the question that we have next? Do we have something big?
Yeah, we got two that are kind of related to each other.
Ooh.
Emily Mike time. It's now my show. So Jessica, we got two that are kind of related to each other about male sea otters. One, why aren't there any male sea otters at the aquarium? And two, do we ever encounter any injured male sea otters, ill sea otters that need rehabilitation, and what happens to them after?
Absolutely. So first question, why don't we have males on exhibit? For one of the reasons is they don't actually help in the surrogacy part of caring for a wild pup. The males are really only there for a hot minute, whatever that timeline really is going to be for an otter, and then they're gone. So all the rearing that happens for a pup happens by the mom. So because there's no assistance by a male sea otter with the surrogacy, we actually don't house any males here because they're not going to help out, unfortunately. And another reason why males can actually be pretty aggressive. They can really guard their territory. So if we were to have a male on exhibit, they could become really protective over the other otters that are in the exhibit, as well as just the space in general. So because they don't participate in the surrogacy part, we actually don't have males on exhibit. But you might go to another facility where they actually do have males, and they actually can live really well together, although there could be behavioral issues, but that's just, any animal. I might not like my rebate or something, same thing. As for any wild males that come in that do need to be rehabilitated, just like any otter that comes in, we'll bring them in and we'll patch them up, whether it's stitching up wounds that they have, giving them food if they're emaciated. We give them time to be rehabilitated before we're re-releasing them out in the wild. So whether a male comes in, whether it's super injured or a young otter pup, we can pair them with a surrogate as well. So anytime any sea otter comes in, we will do our best to rehabilitate them and re-release them out in the wild.
That's awesome. Yeah, and we've seen it happen firsthand here, taking care of those otters behind the scenes and then even in front of the scenes. You get to see that phenomenal work going on all around to help take care of these sea otters. Our Sea Otter program is a far cry from the bathtubs that it started in 30 plus years ago. Now there's lots of different organizations starting to start their own surrogacy programs, and very happy to be working with so many different partners try to get these kelp grizzlies back out there in the wild as they're known. I'm looking at the time here. We are about to head over to a few other streaming platforms over on Instagram, especially over in just a sec. So if you have any questions for anybody here, anybody for Jessica in particular, us after, and then, I mean, we can find somebody else in the background, I guess. Maybe we'll go find somebody. But if you have any questions right now for Jessica about sea otters, about anything that you want to know, what it's like to work with these animals, send them in the chat right now. But super quick, Jessica, I'll throw it right back to you. Can you tell us what is your favorite little, or even a top 3 little fun facts about sea otters that most folks might not be thinking about, or favorite story, basically free form, anything fun and exciting you want to share with people that they might not think about too much?
Let's see, fun otter things. Well, I'm gonna go with some fun stories that we've had. Since we've been closed, the otters are definitely much more aware of people passing by. And one of our large windows, it's the one that spans the second story. Really tall window, it's able to see over through the main aquarium. Abby has been an otter who has really loved to sit by the window and wait for us to show up for our sessions. And as we're walking down the main aquarium, she'll see you from afar, she'll dive down, she'll swim down the window, and then she will rocket up to the sky and just do little Abby porpoises, and it's the cutest thing ever. So we've been loving to see her just do little Abby porpoises. She'll dive down, she'll usually do 1 or 2, maybe she'll even do 3 if she's super excited to see us. And then they'll just run and chase us down the windows as we're walking around, and it's been such a fun way to be greeted by the otters that way. Yeah, it's super lovely. They're very excited to see us sometimes. So.
And there are so many people currently excited about Abby porpoises. I just want to point it out that there's already, looks like, an Abby porpoises train, and folks are going to start, at least over on Twitch, Abby porpoises. They're getting super, super excited for that over there in the chat. So that is awesome. We've got a great question from Wilderness Gay over there on Twitch again. What's a unique challenge sea otter care requires compared to other aquarium animals? What do you get to lord over the folks that take care of the turtles or the sand dollars? Like, what is your, but like, I have to deal with this. Tell us about it.
I'm gonna go with those furry little T-Rex arms and their little mittens. Otters are incredibly dexterous with their paws. You might think, oh, they're cute little fuzzy arms and their little T-Rex arms. They're fantastic at grabbing things and squeezing things and holding things and keeping things as long as they would like to. They'll hold them and they'll actually shove them into their pocket, which is just a little extra flap of skin that, well, not flap, extra little skin that they have under their armpit. They can store little treasures that they might not be allowed to have, things like screws, rocks, shells that they might use to scratch the windows, things that might be just potentially dangerous for them if they try to ingest them too. But they're very good with their paws in the sense that we can't actually have a lot of hardware in the sense like screws on exhibit because they can use shells, they can use their paws to just undo all of that hardware. And then they'll have little fun treasures to scratch the windows, try to eat, put things where they shouldn't. So that's definitely one of the hardest things to deal with is just they're very good with these little things, little T-Rex arms.
That's excellent. Okay, and then final question, I think, from the audience before we wrap up here and head over to Instagram to do this all over again. So join us over on Instagram at Monterey Bay Aquarium if you want to see some more Jessica fun stories and hanging out with the girls a little bit more. But the final question here is from Avi over on Twitch. Are there any favorite enrichments that the otters prefer over others? And I'm going to guess that it's probably the most difficult ones are the ones that they prefer and the most work for you, or maybe is it the opposite and it's the simplest thing that they prefer? Let us know.
They love the most, as if you're looking on the camera at right now, Abby is eating ice. They love ice. You should totally check her out. She's way cuter than I am. Freshwater ice cubes you would find in your drink, glass of ice water. They love to eat them. It's just fresh water. They will just chew them. It's crunchy. It's fun. Abby, look at her chew it. Oh, she's gonna come and say hi to you guys. Oh, look how cute Abby is. Oh, little star.
Let's see some porpoises.
So okay, maybe not an Abby porpoise,
Right
but you should definitely look at it. Oh, look how cute she is. And Rosa's wondering what is happening. Everyone in spa's wondering what's happening. Abby's running around. They love crunching on ice. It's just an extra source of fresh water. They'll normally get their water from their food. Otters also have a really lobulated kidney, which allows them to drink seawater, but they just love ice. It's fun, it's crunchy, it's delicious. It's sweet, maybe, who knows. Abby likes to just be in an ice pile, crunching on ice. They'll steal it from each other. They love just banging really big blocks of frozen ice, whether we put food in them or not. We also like to give them car wash kelp, which Abby loves to snuggle up on deck. So if you're ever watching the webcam and you see a little fuzzy otter in the corner behind the rock, that's 99% of the time Abby just taking a nap and chilling. She's gonna bump into Rosa, who's just trying to nap here. Look how cute Rosa is. Old lady Rose. Should definitely enjoy how cute she is. And if you ever get a good shot of the Rosa right now, they're little wolves in sheep clothing. They're also great, like they're icebergs, where you see them on the surface, but there's a lot of otter under the water that you might not know. So they're actually a lot bigger than you would imagine them to be. Yeah, maybe we could see that.
And I just want to point out real quick, the expert camera work that Emily is currently doing. We're off the tripod. We're freeform. We're going for it. We'll see how far this HDMI cable extends, but you're looking at that Rosa shot there up close. Jessica, thank you so much for the time. Any parting words for us there from the Sea Otters before we wrap it up on our end?
Oh, we are so happy to have people back in the building, and we're going to be really excited for you guys to be able to lay eyes on the otters. And if you guys are some of the earlier otter people that join, you might get to run around and watch the otters chase you around, which is super fun. So hopefully you guys can visit. Hopefully you guys get back in the building. All of the animals at the aquarium miss you guys, and we would love to have you guys back here. So take care.
We're transitioned back over to me to wrap up. Everybody in the chats over on Twitch, over on YouTube, if you can make sure on Facebook, if you could just put some thank you Jessicas there in the chat so she can see that there on the replay. Thank you so much to her and her team and everybody else at the aquarium that makes the Sea Otter exhibit possible, that makes the rescue of sea otters possible. And that's especially counting all you folks out there that are watching that have supported the aquarium not only through our closure in the last year, but also over our 30+ years of existence here, trying to make sure that we are helping to return these keystone species back out there into the wild. We've got a lot of questions asking, what can we do to help sea otters nowadays? Well, what you can do is to try to get involved and think about those recovery efforts, think about all of the different legislation that's out there to help protect the environment that these otters are used to living in, and just generally protecting ocean health. If you know anything related to climate change coming up in the legislation, things you can do in your everyday life, things you can do in your community to help reduce our impact on the environment. It all starts at home and then can build up to that larger system. So wherever you feel like aiming, if it's at home, if it's at the top levels of the world, we need your help with those sea otters, and we appreciate everybody's support. Once again, we're here live at the aquarium because we can be live at the aquarium, and that's going to be you folks very soon as well. We are going to be reopening here May 15th to the general public, earlier than that for our members. You can head over to our website, montereybayaquarium.org, and find out all of the information about our reopening. You can become a member now and get access to those special days. You'll be able to purchase those tickets April 26th. And then member days are going to be May 1 through 14. And then May 15, we open to everybody else, all of the guests. And we cannot wait to welcome you back here to the Monterey Bay Aquarium. With that, This has been, hey, remember this? The Sea Otter edition. It started off with a whole bunch of echoes and a whole bunch of silliness here because we're relearning how to be an open aquarium, and we're very, very hopeful to see you again in person, or as the case may be with the otters, in Pawson again very, very soon. So thank you so much, everybody, for watching this live stream. If you want more sea otters, some of the same stuff, we're going to be live over on Instagram in just a few minutes time. But thank you so much for being a part of the aquarium family, and we will see you again soon at the Monterey Bay Aquarium. Thanks, everybody.